De mare.
Good morning, Africa, and good morning, everyone who's tuning in today to our Africa Week 2020, our family reunion in September. So I want to just give a quick shout out to Dima and Alexandra for making this possibility for us. And thank you so much for every one who's going to join us today to go through our workshop for today. So we want to start the week and we want to start the day by doing a workshop that's it's very dearing to me. The workshop called Capturing the Moment and Building Momentum. This is one of the million. This is one of the questions that constantly keep coming up as far as where do we start and how to like sometimes we go through our days and just live the moments and just go through the motion, and we get this something strike us in so many different ways, and at some point we stop and we realize that we are going through a moment of clarity that we don't know what to do with it. So what we want to do is we want to jump in and do a workshop as far as like once we get that aha moment or that specific moment, we want to make sure that we capture it, and then from there we create momentum so we can make this particular moment a habit and something that we can last for for eternity if we want it to be. So the biggest thing about capturing moments, I mean, I wanted just to share a quote by Tony Robbins, my mentor, who talked about setting goals is the first step into turning the invisible into the visible. He said setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into visible. So when do we, when do we capture those specific moments? And when do we get this specific feeling? I think when you rather be anywhere but here, right? So you be at work, or you are at work, or you are at a relationship, or you are at any point of your life, and you have this feeling that you rather be anywhere else but that specific moment. Number two, if you have a dream and it hasn't, you just this is not it. A lot of time, a lot of people, go through life with emotion, especially, and I want to speak specifically from an Africa perspective. We have a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us, we have a path are paved for us. So the minute we grow up, at some point, we become that individual will say, well, you are smart enough, or you're not smart enough. Maybe I want you to be a doctor, or I want you to be a lawyer, or I want you to be an engineer, or I want you to be this, and I want you to be that from a family perspective. And then they start to apply this beautiful pressure that want to push us forward. But at some point, we tend to find ourselves in a space where we're just going through the motion. I do have clients currently that I work with that are doctors, lawyers, engineers, architects. But at some point, it's like this is not their dream. So if that's you, I mean, this workshop specifically for you. And then if you have the third part, I mean, if when do you capture the moment? When do you start to make these changes? If you have more frenemies than friends, and we'll definitely talk about like once we the difference between the two. I think once you figure out that the game that you're playing, it's not about money, it's not about success, it's not about fame, but rather how you feel. the sooner you will set your priorities straight, and then the sooner you start to feel that sense of fulfillment that will help you overcome the fear that you go through. So at some point, this is something that I would like each and every single one of us to do, to take a step back and start to look at your life just from so many different angles. What is your purpose? What are you doing? Like, what, is your current life is a life of your choosing, or it's not? Are you fulfilled? Are you excited? Are you happy? Do you wake up every single morning very excited, eager to start the day, eager to capture the day, eager to make a difference, eager to leave a legacy, or not? And again, this is a question that you must ask yourself. And if you realize that you're not, for inshallah, we're going to be diving in today, and we're going to talk about it in length. So I think the $1,000,000 question becomes, how do we capture the moment, right? How? And I would like, if you have a pen and paper, please, try to write that down. If not, don't worry about it. These workshops are streaming live, and we are saving those. So definitely just join our Facebook page, which is Africa Week 2020, or you can just go into my page and you'll see the link to the Africa Week 2020. So how do we capture the moment? We have, I think, 9 different steps that we will definitely go over, and we will definitely address. Number 1, address the choices that you have made in the past, and change the choices that you make in the future. And this is interesting. During the first Africa Week a few months ago, we did a specific workshop on choices, and we talked about, as human beings, we have, our life is just a bunch of choices that we make every single day. Everything in our life is a choice. You woke up this morning, you decided to join our podcast today. You decided to go to work. You decided to eat lunch. You decided to wear that shirt that you wear. And you decided to do whatever that you wanted to do. It's a choice that you're making, right? So throughout life, we make a bunch of choices. So the first step into capturing the moment that you need to, address the choices that you made in the past, and change that choices that you make in the future. Evaluate, right? This is one of the things that we don't do enough of. We go about our life, just go through the motion, get excited about whatever that we go through. Sometimes we make mistakes here and there, and then we find ourselves getting stuck in that state that we're not able to push forward, and we're not able to move forward. So this is for you, right? So the first thing that we need to do in order for us to capture the moment is we need to take a step back for a quick second, and we need to reevaluate these choices that we made in life that put us where we at this level. And again, I'm a believer that everything and every choice and every moment and everything that happened to us in life, it's a byproduct to help us become ready for that next step. So whatever that is that you went through in life, that the idea or the plan is not for you to beat yourself up for it. It's not for you to feel frustrated. No, it's for you to acknowledge what you did right, which is amazing, or you acknowledge what you did not do right, which is okay. Write that down, come up with the plan, but you need to address them, because if you don't change the way you do things, if you don't change the choices that you're making, guess what? You will continue to get the same thing, the same results over and over and over again. So keep that in mind. In order for us to get different results, we need to change the choices that we're making in life. Number 2, speak with honesty and stop holding back what you think. And this is actually one of the most critical points. We find ourselves a lot, stuck in a position, or stuck with people that we have to watch what we say constantly, because we're afraid of the consequences behind what we do. So this is something that, I just want to be honest. It's a critical point. I want you to check yourself. If honesty is not the way you communicate with people around you, with your bosses, with everyone around you, and you find yourself being afraid to be honest because of the consequences, I think this is something for you to just to reevaluate. Because in order for you to capture the moment, that you need to speak with honesty, and you need to stop holding what you think. And in order for you to do that, I think being around individuals that will appreciate you for who you are, that will cherish you for who you are, that will help push you forward for who you are, that's the key. So again, honesty, is, the cornerstone of all successes. Without honesty, confidence in your ability, to perform cannot exist. and this is definitely a fact. Without honesty, I think at some point your ability to trust yourself and ability to have that confidence and that self-esteem goes out the window. So please, please, please write that down. Make that a goal. And you can actually start today if that's a problem for you as far as telling the truth because you're afraid of the consequences. I mean, again, reevaluate your situation, reevaluate the consequences, reevaluate who you surround with yourself with, and reevaluate your goals in life as far as where you want to go. So in order for you to capture the moment, you must make honesty is your number one choice every time that you talk to someone and every time you interact with someone. And you don't need to feel the pressure to hold back what you think. Because again, this is your life that we're talking about. These are the choices that you want to make to improve your life. So in that sense, make that a goal as far as having, to speak with honesty constantly. Number three, forget about professionalism. I'm sorry, forget about being perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. And I promise you, a lot of us at this point will probably sit here and you have this great idea and want all these different things to happen to you, but you're waiting for the perfect moment. I know so many clients, I know so many different people that being perfect or perfectionism, be a perfectionist is something that they seek constantly, and then they tend to find themselves being held back in every way in their life. So at some point, you just need to dig deeper and you need to understand that perfect doesn't exist. I mean, again, please show me or point out me some person that that's perfect, that they're not making mistakes. Again, just you'll never find that. I mean, we believe our prophet was the only perfect. I mean, the prophets are perfect. I mean, at some point we don't have any prophets anymore. Prophets are done. So at some point, as human being, I think we should get used to the idea of not being perfect. Take it easy. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to learn from these mistakes, and and it's okay for us to accept ourselves for what that is. We tend to make mistakes either to learn from it or to tend to make mistakes that we can just help push us forward. I mean, in so many different ways, you need to be okay with the idea that we are not perfect. We make mistakes. We are human. First and foremost, we are human. So it is okay for us to make mistakes. And it's okay for you to make the same mistakes again and again and again and again and again. The idea behind it is, you're constantly trying, you constantly want to take a step back, and you want to realize that, you're not perfect. Sometimes, like, I make the same exact mistakes several times. But guess what? There's other strategies behind, getting help from someone, get a mentor, reach out to someone that can help you continue to move forward. But the idea behind it is for you to understand that being perfect does not exist. Number four, acknowledge your losses and move on to your successes. And this is one of those different things that I think our self-confidence and our self-esteem prevent us from just our egos in so many different ways prevent us to accept our failures. I mean, failures are part of life. Every successful person that I know made tons of mistakes and made tons of failures in their life, and that's what helped them become who they are at this point. I'm one of those individuals that I made tons of mistakes in my, and I still make mistakes throughout my life. But one of those different things, I do acknowledge my mistakes. I do acknowledge my losses. The same way I acknowledge my successes. The same way I acknowledge my strength. The same way I acknowledge my progress. I must acknowledge my losses. It's so interesting. I read something about, winners are not people who never fail, but people who never quit. This is an interesting one. So keep that in mind. The idea behind making successes and continue to move forward, it's about the idea of not quitting, not failing. So accept that, acknowledge your losses the same way that you acknowledge your successes, and move on to your successes. Because if you don't acknowledge and recognize that you're making mistakes, how are you able to adapt? How are you able to change your outcome? How are you able to look at life from a different perspective if you feel that you don't make any mistakes in life? Right? Just marinate that a little bit, and I want you to make, again, if you have your pen and paper right now ready, please write down 10 different things that you feel that these are your losses. These are the things that you made, or these are your mistakes that you made throughout your life that you feel that's holding you back, that you feel that's preventing you from capturing the moment, that you feel that's why your life is stuck in so many, but acknowledge that, recognize it, and from there process it, try to understand what you went wrong and how it went wrong, make some adjustment, and continue to move forward. Number five, forgive those individuals who hurt you, but change who you surround yourself with. This is one of those things that I constantly talk about, the idea of proximity. The love, the 3 to 4 different people that you spend most of your time with dictate the level of success. So again, and those individuals can include family members. So I want you to think about this from this perspective. You need, again, you have to come to peace with yourself. So you need to understand that you need to forgive whoever hurt you, that you feel that's stopping you from reaching your full potential. Those individuals that feel like they're holding you back. Again, at some point you need to come to that and do it for you. Don't do it for anybody else. When you think about forgiveness and you think about you just letting go, again, some of the idea behind it, forgive so you can have that mental space so you can continue to move forward. But at some point, you don't forgive and then you continue to go back and do the same exact things over and over and over again. No, you adjust, you forgive those individuals so you can come to peace, to term with peace with your own self. Then start to surround yourself with other individuals that can help you to continue to move forward. Remember, surround yourself with people who support you, guide you, and make you better. And those individuals that are out there, and that's what I mean when I talk about the smaller the circle, the larger the vision. It's a fact. The more, again, so I want you today, right now, while you hear this, and I want you to marinate this whole thought. And I want you to write down 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different names of individuals that this specific comment strike in your mind. And I want you to write down those names. And I want you to dig deeper and I want you to evaluate the type of relationship that you have with these individuals. I want you to evaluate, those individuals, are they helping you continue to move forward or are they holding you back? You answer that question. And please, 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 please be honest with yourself. I'm not telling you, hey, go out there and, and cuss them out and tell them that you don't want to do anything with them. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying is evaluate the relationship that you have with them. If you feel that those individuals are hurting you and holding you back and beating you up and all these different things, forgive them. But change who you surround yourself with so you can continue to move forward. Number 6. Nurture your mind with great thoughts. Knowledge is key. Now, this is one of those things that I tend to, to see a lot working with clients. That the idea of, that they're living this whole autopilot. They wake up in the morning, get ready, go to work, or from like 9 to 5, 9 to 6, 10 to 4, whatever that is. The minute they get out of, they get off work, they're so beat down and they're so just mentally drained. They eat, exercise, do a couple of things, and then at some point, go to sleep, wake up the next day and do the same thing. And they're looking forward for the weekend. Come the weekend, they're out and about, they go out there and just have a lot of fun. So they don't allow themselves that time to gain knowledge, to learn something new. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at your schedule and I want you to look into, just like, 10 to 15 minutes a day. You are on social media constantly. We all are. Spend 10 to 15 minutes to learn something different. To jump in here and learn. Just nurture your mind with learning something different. With great thoughts. What you think. Just put this in mind. I want you guys to write this down. What you think is what you become. Want to change fast? Start by changing how you think. So it's definitely critical as far as, for us to nurture, how our minds and what we feed our mind. Like I said, we can spend days and days and days and days and days on social media, like other people comments and all these different things. But if we're not taking the time to nurture our minds and gain that knowledge and spend some time to think. For me, for some of you guys that know me, I do have something called the Hour of Power. And that's something that I do daily. Every single day, I do spend an hour just to think. just to process, just to learn. I'm trying to add something new into the mix, and that's some of the knowledge that I want to do. So I want you guys to do the same thing. If you're able, if you're not, if you haven't, today is your day. Make that commitment that you want to nurture your mind by adding, these great thoughts. And how do to how do you nurture and how do you do that is by allocating time on daily basis, so you can think, you can learn, you can process. And then again, we talked about this, like you want to have change fast, change the way you think. It's all about the mindset. Number 7, find success at the edge of your comfort zone. Find success at the edge of your comfort zone. Human need change. They need to change to be happy, and that's why a lot of times, like, you start to find yourself, verbalizing that. You're working and you're doing all these different things, and all of a sudden, I just want to take a vacation. I need to do something different. I get bored. And these are some thoughts, and this is something that we all go through it, right? So I want you to think about this. If you want something that you never had before, you need to start to do something that you never done before. Put that down or write that down. If you want something that you never had, you need to start to do things that you never done. And that's where becoming uncomfortable, and that's when like, again, comfort, to be honest with you, that's how we like how we like stop. Comfort is like, I think it's a killer to all progress. And as human beings, that's one thing that we tend to find. We get comfortable. We allow fear. I mean, we work so hard to reach a certain level, and then from there, we just find ourselves getting stuck because we do not want to lose it. We do not want to start from the beginning. But again, let's just give you a quick example. You want to have six packs. You want to exercise. You need to start to do things different. To eat different, you need to exercise different, you need to work out different, you need to sleep different, you need to eat different, you need to drink more water, you need to hire a different trainer, whatever that is that you need to do. So in order for you to get something that you have never got, you need to start to do things that you never done before. And the idea behind it, you don't have to do it alone. Again, we talked earlier about who you surround yourself with, which is also a critical point of what we were just talking about. Number 8. Never, ever, ever compare your life with someone else's. Never compare your life to someone else's, with someone else's. Other people are suffering too. We all human beings. Your proximity and what you do in life, again, even like people within the same household, they have different stories to write. So your abilities, your capabilities, who you surround yourself with, your environment, your whatever that is, it's definitely dictate who you are as an individual. So never, ever, ever compare yourself or compare your life to someone else. And number 9, eliminate the unnecessary and cultivate the essentials. Eliminate the unnecessary and cultivate the essentials. Think and write down all the things in your life that are important to you. These are your essentials. And then from there, you eliminate everything else. That's how simple that is. It's so interesting when you think about this from this sense. By the way, guys, I think your biggest assets, every person's biggest assets is time. And the best part about time, that we all have 24 hours a day. So this is something that we all have. What you do with your time, that's what makes you or break you. In order for you to capture the moment, I want you guys to think about creating that list of everything that's important to you. Write that down. Anything else need to go. And I know it's a lot easier said than done, but to be honest with you, that's what you got. In order for you to get something different, you need to start to change the way you think. We talked about mindset earlier. So we're going to go over that one more time for people that just can't join us late. So those are the 9 points that how are we able to capture the moment. Number 1, address the choices that you're making, that Address the points that you address the choices that you made in the past and change the choices that you're making in the future. That's number one. Number two, speak up with honesty and stop holding back what you think. Number three, forgo being a perfectionist. Perfect doesn't exist. Number four, acknowledge your losses and move on to your successes. Number five, forgive those people who hurt you, but change who you surround yourself with, and that's where that proximity come in. Number six, nurture your mind with great thoughts. Number seven, find success at the edge of your comfort zone. Number eight, don't compare your life to someone else's. And number nine, eliminate the unnecessary and cultivate the essentials. Perfect. So that covers the first part of our workshop, which is capturing the moment. The next step that what we're going to be talking about right now, how do we build momentum? And I think this is one of the most important parts of the workshop as far as, sure, we got it, we understood it, we went through it, we captured that specific moment, we learned it. How do we keep this momentum going? And we are also going to be doing about 9 different points that I would like for you guys to write down. Number one, create your picture of success and make it a reality. What does that mean? Dream big about just the way, like the successes in life, the things that you want to do in life, like just, how, like when you make it. And I think this is a question that for you guys to ask. When you make it big, at some point, what do you want? How is your successful look like, right? I mean, and I want you to think about your life from all different levels, from a health. I mean, you can break it down into your spiritual, spiritual life, your physical, your mental, your social, your emotional. I mean, just break down your life into different areas, and then at some point start to look into what does success mean to you. Create that picture of success, and then make that a reality, and then start to work towards it. Because one of the biggest thing is, like, as we mentioned earlier, that we tend to go with the motion. A lot of times, just, life, you wake up in the morning, and then sometimes, I mean, and this is something that I started to realize recently, when you ask people, what day is it? And they'll say, well, is it a Monday? Is it a Tuesday? I mean, people start to lose the track of time. Now, with COVID and everyone is home, working from home, I mean, and which is something that's very troubling, to be honest with you. So in order for you, because at some point, it's like, if you're not paying attention to what's happening around you, like your day to day, and how are you spending your day and how are you spending your time, that becomes an issue. So the first thing that I would like for you guys to do today is to take a step back and create that picture of success. So when you reach that specific moment, that's when you sit back and you say to yourself, yes, I made it. This is who I am. This is great. This is what success looked like. Because if you don't know where you're going, at some point, where are you going? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't know your final destination, it becomes very difficult for you to get to where you want to go. But if you clearly know what you want in life, as far as this is what you consider a success, it becomes a lot easier for you to set the step-by-step process to get there. Number two, challenge yourself and create those big, scary goals for yourself. Because at some point, if you're not being challenged, again, you're not tapping into your comfort zone. You're not tapping into your fear, and you're not tapping into your full potential. Because if all of your goals that you set for yourself are within your own comfort zone, how are you able to grow? Right? You're not going to be able to grow. So set those big, scary goals, for yourself. And then at some point, and start to work towards that. So one of the things I would like for you to do right now, I would like for you to write down one thing you can do today to make that happen. And that's how you start. Like, let's say, one of the easiest one, a lot of people use is money, because it's tangible. So if you say to me, maybe I want to make, $500,000 by next year. That's a big, scary goal, especially if you never made it You never made that kind of money. Great. Write that down. And then today, I would like for you to write down one thing that you are willing to commit on doing today to reach that specific goal a year from now. And that's how we do goal setting. We set those specific goals, big, scary, just hairy, ugly looking goals, put them up there, and then commit to doing one thing today. And if your goal is to do, just your idea is to do one thing every single day, or take up one step every single day, guess what? A year from now, you already made 365 steps. Think small. I mean, again, yeah, big, think big, but then, like as far as the momentum, as far as building, take small baby steps to get there. 3, eliminate your energy drains and and stop re-damaging yourself. Mental health. Taking care of your health mentally is a critical piece as far as how do we build momentum. Those things, or those phone calls with certain individuals, those comments that you see, the news that you hear, if you feel those things in life drain your energy and it's just putting you in very bad, miserable spots, you need to start to eliminate those. All you have is time, as we talked about earlier, and all you have is your energy. So make sure that you eliminate anything that will drain your energy. And that can include jobs, relationships, people, society, the news, and just negative individuals around you, whatever that is. One thing that I had to do to eliminate is to check social media the minute I wake up. Because everything that's going on around us, all this negativity that we tend to see when we jump on social media, I realize the minute I wake up and hop on social media, I start to find my energy drop throughout the day. So I stopped that. Another thing that I had to eliminate throughout the taking calls before 12 o'clock. And that improved my productivity by 30%. Because I realized when I get calls early mornings, I'm so bombarded with the idea of me trying to fix it and trying to adjust my day and trying to do all these different things. Come 12 o'clock, I'm drained. So I stopped that. I don't take any calls before 12 o'clock. So those are some of the decisions that you need to make in life. These some of the decisions that you start to make today to eliminate, like anything that drain your energy, so you can recharge and you can. And again, this is your life that we're talking about. No one else's. This is your life that we're talking about. So if you have to make these decisions, tough decisions, make those tough decisions, because what's going to happen is you are going to emerge into building that momentum. Number 4, conquer your fear. Be brave. Because fear, to be honest with you, it's your number one enemy. That's why people don't make progress, because they're afraid. That's why people don't push forward, because they're afraid. That's why people don't quit that job that they hate, because they're afraid. That's why people won't invest, because they're afraid. That's why people won't approach that person that they're attracted to, because they're afraid. And it could be tons of different fear. We've done several workshops on fear of rejection, fear of just being embarrassed, fear of just not getting what you want, fear of failure, fear of whatever that is, that as a fear that you find yourself going through. It's going to stop you from reaching your full potential, and that's a major issue. So you need to conquer your fears. You need to channel yourself. I need to work on that. I mean, so I think one of the questions that I would like each and every one of you guys to ask yourself every single morning: what can I do today to be brave? What can I do today to be brave? Right? Again, this is your life we're talking about, and fear is real. Fear is there, and fear will always be there. And don't feel like you are the only one who's fearful. You don't think that you are the only person who's being challenged by these. Every one of us have their own fear. Just to think about it from that perspective. You need to conquer your fear. You need to challenge your fears. You need to challenge yourself so you can get the things that you want in life and you can build that momentum that we're talking about. I think Brian Tracy talked about eat that frog. He said like if you know that you have to eat a frog, if you need to have, I think I think chopping up this quote. But he talked about if fear is a frog, for example, just eat that frog, just go for it. And if you have to eat multiple frog, eat the biggest one first. I think within that same sense, I'll send you guys the link to it as far as that quote. But what I mean about this, if you are challenged with different, issues and that that this is a fear that's stopping you and holding you back, go for it. Because that's where progress is, that's where success is, that's where emerging is. And if you are, faced with multiple things, take the biggest challenge first. So you can build that momentum so you can continue to move forward. Number 5, and this is an important one for each and every one. In order for us to build momentum, you must take control of your finances. You must take, because finances, to be honest with you, is one of those things that adds so much stress into people's lives. And I want to be 100% honest with you. If you don't take control of your finances, it will become a lot more difficult for you to move forward and build that momentum. Because a lot of times we make decisions based on that. You have a job that's providing you. Yeah, I'll definitely recap in a second. You hate that job. You're there. You're miserable, but that job is paying you that minimum wage that you're able to live by that paycheck to paycheck. So you're not able to make that jump. So what I mean about that, taking control of your finances. The easiest way to do this, create a budget and stick to it. That's one thing that I do with every single client that I work with. Within the first week or two, or the first couple of weeks of sessions, we're working on budgeting because we're trying to eliminate that specific fear. So create a budget and stick to it. One of the easiest way to do it to help you get that extra thing, if you're able to decrease everything by 10%. If you're spending, let's say, $100 in gas, spend 90. Right? So you just decrease by 10%. If you're spending $500 in food, decrease that by 10%. If you're spending whatever that you're doing, your goal will be to decrease by 10%. And all that 10% money, that will be an additional money that you have. And that's how you start in order for you to get to that, to take control of your finances. So let me just repeat that. How do we build momentum? Number 1, create a picture, your own picture of success and make it a reality. Dream big, see what you want to do, and then go from there and go for it. Number 2, pick the biggest, scariest, dream big. That's what it is. Set those goals to something that's big, scary, that freak you out, and then go after it. Number 3, eliminate anything that drain your energy and start to work on it. We talked about that. Number 4, conquer your fear and be brave. Number 5, we talk taking control of your finances. And again, that's another critical point. So in order for you to do that, this is something I would like for you to do today. Work on creating a budget. Decrease everything by 10% and sticking to it. Right? Number 6, my favorite phrase for everyone that know me, proximity is power. Proximity is power. Today, identify 2 to 3 people. That's it. 2 to 3 people within your circle that you want to work with so they can help you and you can help them take your life to the next level. 3 to 4 people. That's it. Or 2 to 3 if you want to call it. Make that call right after this workshop. Put all of them together on a phone call and ask them who's committed. Ask that simple question. Who is committed to go in this journey with me? Whoever raised their hand, this is what it is. That's the commitment that they're making. Create an agenda. Share it with them. Sit down with them and start to talk. This is what we're doing. Here's our goals. This is how we help each other to move each other up so we can continue to move forward. Simple. Your homework. Right away, right after this workshop, 3 people. They say 2 to 3 people. That's it. You don't need more than that. The smaller the circle, the bigger the vision. Again, I know a lot of you guys surround yourself with so many amazing people. I get it. But not every single amazing person is gonna able to help you to push to the next level. They're not. Part of life. And you cannot save them all. This is not your job to save anyone. So what you do, identify 2 to 3 people that you feel share the same exact vision, strength, mental wellness, strength. Reach out to them right after this workshop and say, guys, listen, this is the journey that I'm going through. Who's with me? Get that commitment, create that agenda, send that with them, and get started. Right away. There's no need for you to stop. There's no need for you to BS around. Again, this is how we capture the moment so we can continue to move forward. And this is your life we're talking about. Proximity is critical. Who you surround yourself with dictate the level of success. And guess what, guys? If within your own circle, if you feel that you are the smartest one in your circle, you need a new circle. If you feel that you are the most successful person in your circle, you need a new circle. Why? In order for you to grow. For your own ego, for your own things, in order for you to set those bigger goals so you can continue to move forward. Number 7, highlight your small wins. Highlight your small wins. As human beings, we tend to focus on the negatives. We beat ourselves up constantly for everything that's not going our way. Your goal, starting today, is to highlight and give yourself enough credit for the small wins that you're doing every single day. Ask yourself that question every single night. What did I accomplish today? And it could be the smallest. And why is it important? It could be the smallest. But make sure you pat yourself in the back, give yourself enough credit for it, and continue to move forward. This is your job to do. And that's how you build that momentum. Number 8, let things evolve. Give yourself some time. Have a goal, but be flexible with the process. You don't need to change the goal because you feel stuck. You do not need to feel stuck in the process. You do not need to change the goal because you feel stuck. Change the process. Change the way you approach it. Change the way you think about it. And that's why proximity is very, very, very critical, guys. Because those individuals can help you manage and shift and move things around so you can continue to move forward. But you have to give it time. Everything that you see around you right now, it's not like, let's say, Amazon. Oh my God, Amazon is, are you comparing yourself to Amazon? This is great. Amazon was founded back in 90, I think it's like 1990 or 91, 92. So what you see right now is almost 20 plus years or almost 30 years worth of work. So things take time. Things evolve. You never give up on your goals. You never give up on what you're working on. You work on changing the process as far as how do you get there. Right? Do goals need to be realistic, achievable? Of course. I mean, goals need to be realistic, but the question becomes, what is realistic? Right? And then you ask yourself that question sure, it's a realistic goal, but is it too easy? Are you challenging yourself throughout the process? One thing that I tell people, when you set those goals and those expectations, again, just this baby steps, right? I mean, so for example, you started a business. In a sense, one of the biggest goals that you want to do is financial freedom in 5 years. That's something that could be a very realistic goal, but initially it's gonna be scary. So one thing that I probably ask, maybe something that will help you to do is, and this is something that I do constantly. I set up annual goals. So let's say, and I'm just gonna use money as because it's tangible, right? So I'll say I want to make, hypothetically, I want to make $100,000 a year, right? It's a big goal, it's scary, blah blah blah. Great. Then I break that $100,000 into, break that into 6 month goals, 3 month goals, 1 month goal, weekly goals, and then daily goals. And then my focus becomes on that daily goals every single day. Because if I know, if for example this $100,000, if you break it down, it comes down to $37, whatever that is, an hour. So my goal becomes, how do I generate that every single hour? So you can do that. You can hit your daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, 3 month goals, 6 month goals, 9 month goals, and then your annual goals. It becomes very, then that's how you get to achieve those big goals. You see what I'm saying? So like create something big and then break it down into something small that's achievable, that's doable, and then your energy, your focus becomes on those small baby step goals in order for you to capture them and get them done, and then you move into something bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and that becomes a lot easier. I had a client that her goal was, she wanted to make, and just I want to be 100% honest. She said she wanted to make $500,000 in 1 year just starting the business. So and so using that specific point, we came down, we broke everything down, and then once she realized how much she needed to generate on that hourly base, it was too big for her. So we said, all right, now let's go back into the goal and readjust to something more realistic that's doable based on everything else. Joe Mar is joining us from the Philippines. Hello, Joe. Hope all is well, and hopefully this is something that's that. So hopefully that answered that question. People from all New Orleans, I love that. We have a bunch of people from Sudan, from Oman, from the UAE, and I'm just wanted to. I haven't given a shout out just yet, but just wanted to put that out there. Awesome. And then the nine, and number 9, which is the last thing, is be committed. Goals without commitment and efforts and putting those efforts into to work, you'll never go anywhere. So make sure that you are committed into those specific goals in order for you to continue. Yes, we have someone from Eritrea taking the hat off. Be committed. Goals without commitment is basically just a dream, or dreams without commitment, without work, just a dream. So we'll repeat that one more time. How do we build momentum? We talked about capturing the moment, and now we're going to talk about just momentum. So the 9 things that we talked about. Number 1, create your picture of success and make it a reality. Number 2, pick a big, scary goal and go after it. And the reason why we talked about that is that clarity that we have, that in order for us to know where we're going, it becomes easier for us to pave the way to go there. Number 3, eliminate your energy drains. Anything that's draining your energy, as far as distractions, need to go. And one thing that we talked about, create a list of all your essentials. Create a list of everything that's important to you. Once you have that in, everything else needs to get eliminated. And be honest with yourself and be realistic with yourself when it comes to that. You are first. You are important, and you need to keep that in mind. Number 4, conquer your fears and be brave. And we talked about tons of different fears. So just something that just to think about. Please go back and listen to that part when we talk about fear. Number 5, take control of your finances. Money, right? And we talked about the easiest way to do this today, right after this workshop. Create a budget, your own budget. And the easiest way to create that budget is, number 1, identify how are you spending your money. How much money coming in and how you spend your money. Easiest way to do it, get into your bank account, pen and paper, and just write down what you spend and how you spend your money. Once you create that budget, cut everything by 10%. then stick with it. Number 6, proximity is power. Who you surround yourself with dictate the level of success. The idea behind it: identify 2 or 3 people, write their name down, reach out to them, create an agenda, and start to hold each other accountable. Number 7, highlight small wins. Pat yourself in the back. Be your best friend and be your biggest cheerleader if you want to do that, and so you can help keep pushing yourself forward. And number 8, let things evolve. Give yourself time. And number 9, be committed. Awesome, guys. We have about 2 minutes. I know, again, Africa Week 2020, full things that's happening, so please join us, on our, Facebook page, Africa Week 2020, or you can just get into my Facebook and you'll see the link into the workshop that we just did. These workshops will be saved for you guys to actually have it. Like I said, this is a very, very busy week. We have tons of different things that are happening, tons of different panels, tons of different workshops, tons of different music life. I mean, it's a 24 hours, week with all Africa. Much love to everyone. We are Africa Rising, and this is exciting. So thank you so much for allowing me to be part of the journey with you guys today. We have another workshop tomorrow, I believe, from 9 to 11. It's on, I think, Black men. We're going to talk about mental health, and so just stay tuned. Look at the schedule. We're going to definitely put that out there. If you're not on Facebook, we'll continue to save them on our Instagram live. But thank you so much for your time today. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing week, and guys, and have a great day. So talk soon, you guys, and be God bless.